Oh man, I saw Vorticella. That's what these guys are called. This is another kind of single cell protozoan, and there's a whole bunch of them here. They go all around this big piece of debris that's being eaten by bacteria. They go all around it, and then even in between it, and then on the bottom side of it. They're all connected with like a little string. It's like a little muscle, and if they're disturbed, that little muscle will yank them back, sort of like a protection. And I was wondering, why are there so many of them over here? Then I began to look real close, and you could see at the top of the picture it's kind of like a dark fringe on this piece of crud. There's a dark fringe all around it, and that dark fringe is made out of living bacteria that are moving and twisting like crazy. We'll get a close-up of it. I tried to catch these guys moving by slowing down the video, but they are one of the fastest moving things that's alive in the world, and slowing it down by 30 times, I could not catch them halfway into their contraction process. They really contract fast. I'll let you know when we get to the spot where I slowed it down. Each one of them is a live, living, small cell. It's not called an animal. These are called protozoans. And I was surprised that I saw one of them swimming all by himself. Here it is at the bottom, without a little contractile stalk behind it. That's what they're supposed to look like when they first divide and make twos. So maybe I caught a little baby right there. If you look closely, they're shaped like a funnel, and they have little hairs all around the top edge of the funnel for catching food. That's what the name Vorticella comes from, because they create a circular path of water. It's called a vortex. Slow motion is coming up right now. That was it. It's so fast that the slow motion doesn't seem to slow it down at all. And there's that very blue, fuzzy, vibrating stuff right there. Those are all bacteria that are growing on this piece of debris. And they eat that bacteria that comes loose. Here's a real close-up of that bacteria. That's what bacteria looks like. They are very tiny. It's one of the smallest kinds of cell-like things in the world. And that is magnified as much as my microscope can go. Looking at the inside of these guys, you can see these little round balls. Some of those round balls are food sacs called food vacuoles. Some of them are water sacs, because he takes in too much water, just like that other protozoan did, and he has to get rid of it. So if you look at one of those sacs and you're watching it, you might see one of them suddenly disappear because it actually squeezes shut and squirts the water out. Then he has a brain, which is kind of shaped like a hot dog. It's hard to see in any of these pictures. He actually has two brains. The big brain is for his control of his daily activities, and he has a little brain that he uses when he wants to reproduce and produce more of himself. Those are nice views of those guys. This is about as big as I can make them. So using my microscope, this makes them about maybe 1,000 times bigger than they really are. So you can imagine how tiny they are.